Good afternoon and welcome to Friday with Fiona. And today I'm using another of my favourites that's on the last chance list, and that is Country Flowers dies. So stamp set and dies, can't get my words out. So this stamp set is now 50% off. It's down to $11.50, I think. And I love this font. Really lovely. And I realized I played with it when I first got it, and then I'd kind of put it away, and so I've really enjoyed using it. Makes some beautiful cards. And the other thing I'm using is the Everyday Arches, made of fun fold using the biggest one. So we'll share. That's our card number 2, I think. So I'm going to show you now. Card number 1, I made ages ago with a different set, which is now retired. I can't even remember what it's called, using the teacup. But I'm going to remake it using the Country Flowers, but doing the same effect. So I can't remember what it's, really thoughtful expressions, maybe. No, can't remember. Sorry. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to be making it now with the Country Flowers. So I've got a card base. Just to let you know, if you spend £25 in my online store, not only will you get 10% stamping rewards on that, I will also send you a kit to make the 3 cards. Now, I can't send you stamped images, but I will do all the die cutting for you. And then if you haven't got this bundle, the dies are 60% off as well. Crazy prices. So I've got half an A4 in Lost Lagoon, and then Pool Party. That is, yeah, and if you spend £25, you'll get a full tutorial with pictures, measurements, instructions and everything. I'm just going to give you the measurements now. So this is 9 by 13.5, and that will go on my card base. Then I die cut a circle with the Spotlight on Nature, and that then fits exactly into that hole, and that's how I'm going to stamp my. And then I've got 2 pieces of the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and this is actually carrying over. A piece of basic white for the inside, and then that's for my sentiment. Okay, let's get stamping. So what flowers do I need? I think I'm going to do I'm not actually going to have enough room, I don't think, to do the teapot or anything like that. So I'm just going to do the flowers. I think they will fit. Yes, they will. Okay. And they are lovely. So let's move those out of the way. Bring my circle down. And I'm going to stamp in Memento because I want to colour with my blends. And it's a circle, so it doesn't matter really which way there we go, nice crisp. Keep that out for later. Now I think I've used these flowers 3 times, and I've used one of the others, and I haven't used the leaves, but I don't know, the flowers are a bit more interesting. So this is the only one I think you're going to see me colour. I don't know, I might be wrong. I might not have coloured them in. So I want Pool Party. Let's have some Lemon Lolly and pink. Some nice spring colours. So I'm just going to quickly colour those in, not spend too long doing it. Beautiful day here. Yeah, our neighbours just mowed the lawn, so it looks good. Right, that's that. I'm going to do I'm not sure if this is a flower or leaves. I think it's a flower. I'm terrible with the names of plants and things. Our neighbours are really good. Their garden is gorgeous. Now, obviously, you can spend a lot more time colouring more carefully and do the shading and everything, which I'm not bothering with today. Okay, and then I think I'll do my roses in yellow. Yellow for friendship. Yellow is the only colour that the Memento seems to run. It's really weird. I should have just used my heat tool on it very quickly. So I'm kind of doing dots rather than... There we go. And now just the leaves. So I'm close that away. So I'm going to use light old olive for the leaves. Okay, not my best work, but it will have to do. And let's just put a bit of yellow in the middle there. Okay, so bringing our card base in. I think it's going to go that way. So I'm just going to make sure that's flush, which it is, and take my dimensionals and go over the top. Oh, my light's not on. No wonder I can't see what I'm doing. I do apologise. That's better. I can see what I'm doing now. So I'm going to pop the dimensionals around, so it's going to hold it in place, as well as pop in a couple, well, 4 in the actual circle. And then the brilliant thing about the dimensionals is this long strip. Just cut that in half. Put a bit there. And the other bit there. Okay, plenty of dimensionals. And this is the hardest part by this card, is taking the backings off the dimensionals. Okay. I think I've got all the backings off yet. So you can see that's being held in place by the dimensionals. So I'm just going to line that up. I'm just eyeballing it. Hopefully that's straight. There we go. Now I realised what I did on that one was I stamped the teacup, and I should have stamped around it, but I've missed that part. So, and I'm just going to snip these at an angle. And one in needs to be slightly longer than the other. Okay, and then I'm just going to pop some Seal Plus yellow twine. I should have done this because tying bows to me at the moment is really tricky. Oh, that wasn't too bad. And I need a glue dot for that. Whoops. And then I'm just going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to go with, I don't know about you, but I find when you need them, you won't feel like making cards. So I'm not that I'm expecting it, but I don't have any at the moment, and I just thought it would be good to have a few in case. And if I have them, hopefully I won't need them. So let's just pop that away. And stamp the sentiment. Now I can see, you might not be able to, but I can see the dimensionals hiding behind the circle. So I'm actually going to pop some gems there to cover them up with heartfelt sympathy. I might trim this down a little bit. I would use scissors, but I know my luck could just go wrong. So that's it. I'm just going to pop that on flat. Over there. Okay, so that's card number 1. Right, let me just pop those gems. And I've got the party dots. So we've got the yellow and the pink. And the pool party, actually. Maybe that's... I hadn't even realised, but maybe that's what gave me the inspiration. So, no, I think we'll go with yellow, actually. One there. One there. One there. One there. And a little one. Got to have an odd number in the middle there. No, that doesn't look right. In the middle there. There we go. So we've got the odd number that apparently the brain likes. And there's card 1. So really quite quick and simple to do. Okay, now moving on to card 2, and I'm saving the best for last. So I'm not sure what this is called. I think I've heard it called a Dutch door before, but basically you cut half of the front off, and then that becomes, you rotate that and that becomes your front. And again, I've used the flowers and I've used the teapot. So my card base is smoky slate. And I'm going to do my stamping first. And I've got the designer series paper going a different way. That was a mistake. I've got my stool in the designer series paper, and I have already done my colouring. So there's my teapot and my flowers. So all we need to do is pop this together. I'll just do the stamping and then I'll show you how it all goes together. Not sure what that's. This is definitely for in here. Yes, right. Okay. Okay. So what did I? Oh yes, it's this little one. I'm just going to get my little. and I think I did that in, oh, where's it gone? Yeah, petal pink. Oh, I was trying to not be random and line them up, but that didn't work. I just think it's because of the angle I'm at with the camera. Okay, done with that. And I'm going to, I shouldn't have put that sentiment away because I'm going to need it. So I'm going to do, this is one of the new in colours, Secret Sea. So it's kind of a cross between a black, a blue. If you put it next to navy, it looks blue. If you put it next to black, and then it looks kind of, well, it still looks navy there. But anyway, I'm loving it for sentiments. I was using Pebble Path, but I think I like this even more. So this is having the heartfelt sympathy on the inside. There we go. And on the outside piece, that's what this one is for, I believe. Yes. I'm going to do Sending Love. I'm going to get another block and leave that on there because I'm going to need it again. And this one is going to be Sending Love. Love it. Right, and now I'll show you how to put the card together. So it's a regular half of an A4 card base, 21 centimeters by 14.8, scored in half at 10.5, and then that is going to go on the inside. Now this is 10 by 14.3. And now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my little trimmer, and you want to cut half. So this is 10.5. No, it's not. It's 14.8. So I'm going to go to 7.4 and cut to the score line. Probably should do this on my trimmer, but hopefully. Yeah. And then fold that back, and I'm just going to cut the top bit off. And I'll just get my bone folder and try and flatten flatten the score line. Okay, so at the moment you can see that. Now I'm going to pop my designer series paper on. I could do that side actually for a change. Yeah, let's go with that for, and then you can see which you prefer. So this piece is 7 by 10. Right, and the same on the inside. Okay, now I've lost my grey bit. Oh, that was silly, I threw it away. So now, and what I need to do first, I made a mistake. I actually did it round under the stool, but it's supposed to go round the grey, is to okay, they're the wrong scissors, but I got the right ones ready. I'm loving these 3D ribbon clips made by Alexis Kempton. Okay, so I'm going to wrap my ribbon around and maybe put a glue dot on the back. And then I'll just tie this in a knot, not a bow. Again, famous last words. No, that's too short. Okay, just going to trim that bit. Okay, so for me that was probably the hardest bit. So I've got my, and then I need to pull that up. So I'm just going to need to move that round a bit. Just want it right on the edge. That's it. And then I can pop that down. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to do it over the two. Let's trim that a bit. This is how not to make a card. I've got my glue dot on the back. That's better. Okay, so let's try that again. This might not be long enough now. is. There we go. So I will have my stool over the top of it after all. Right, that's now putting them together with dimensionals. And I've already done my colouring. So I stamped the teapot in and flowers and stool in memento. This one is onto the designer series paper, and then I die cut them, and then I coloured these two in. So I need my dimensionals, and we'll pop the stool on first. Let's put that up a bit so that the stool actually sits on it. Yeah, and then I can use the dimensionals. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now my teapot is going to sit, so I just want a dimensional at the top. And a little bit of wet glue on the stool. Okay, and then my flowers are going to come down. So just dimensionals at the top again, because I need to see my sentiment. And I have actually used the Night of Navy in there, so that's good. So that will pull that out. Okay, so then I'm just going to add that now with dimensionals on the bottom half. So there we go. And there you go. And there's card 2. So that was done with the strips, including the pool party. So you've got the pool party and the petal pink, pulling those out. And then this one is the Night of Navy, which is, yeah, I'm not sure which I prefer, actually. I like them both. Oh, needs to put some dots in. So I've used the pool party on this one. And do you know what? I'm actually going to put them in the flowers. Right, one there. One there. And one there. Whoops. That's the 3. There you go. That's card 2. Don't know what I've done with card 1. What's there? Right, now, this is my favourite. Okay. And it's not complicated. It's the time, the most time probably is spent on die cutting, because there's a lot of everyday arches to use. And it folds out. So it's a tri-fold with heartfelt sympathy. And then I've die cut some more arches in the designer series paper, just so that you're not staring at kind of white. So it's 3. And then this is vellum. So that's designer series paper, and this is vellum. Just, I really love that. So that's a spare bit. Let me bring my pack in. Just have it standing there. So I've got loads and loads and loads of arches. But I think I've got everything else done. So I've die cut and coloured. So I've got my teapot, I've got my pot. Now that is just a die cut, and I went around the inside of the die cut to put the line on that. The stool is onto designer series paper, and I have 3 just in case. And I have my flowers to go into that pot, and I have my flowers to go into my teapot, and they're going on small arches. So I've got 2 of those, and then I've got quite a lot. I've got 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see why in a minute. And then I've got 2 in my vellum. Another white one. I might have too many actually, but that's okay. Better to have too many than too little. And then the 3 designer series paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is join them together, because the designer series paper is partly to cover up the join. So so I need 3 at the moment. 1, 2, 3. Let's put those to one side. Okay, and then I've got 2 pieces of card. So this is the largest everyday arches, and then I've got 2 pieces of card, which is 7.5 by 5, scored in half at 2.5, to make, that will be, in fact I'm just going to use my bone folder to get a good crease before I glue them down. And I'll need 2 of those. Now obviously you can add more panels. You could do 4, you could do 5. You would just need more of these. So oops, it's got a stray backing, they get everywhere. Right, now that's 1. So I'm just going to put glue on one side, and then I'm going to add my arch along the bottom right up to the score line, but not over the score line. And then if I fold it, oops, a daisy, this is why you need to use wet glue. If I fold it down, yeah, that's perfect. And then the same on the other side, and all that you're going to see will be that little score line. So a second, again, right up to the score line, lining up with the bottom. Okay, and move that along, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with this. My glue doesn't want to come out, and then it'll come out in a big rush. There we go. Same thing, line that up along the bottom to the score line, but not over the score line. And this original design of joining the everyday arches together I saw was an American demonstrator called Tammy White. So thanks, Tammy, because I really love this. Put that together, and then number 3 up to the score line and along the bottom. Okay. Oops. Now this is the reason why you need your designer series paper. Okay, so I'm going to take my, that's going to go in the middle. No, this is not why. Let me just check. So I think what I did was actually I turned it round. So that's why I've got another white. So the white is going to go over there in the middle. And then my vellum, yeah, that's what I did. So let's do that. So it's just to hide these joins. And then the designer series paper on the other side is a smaller arch, just for decorative purposes. But this is to actually hide the join. And then all it's left to do is decorate. So making sure I'm right up level. There we go, that's that. And then the vellum, I have found that using Seal Plus doesn't show, and I just do it in short little bits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's going to be number 1 and number 3 panel. Again, lining it up with the arch, so you just can't see the join. And that's going to be panel number 3. Okay, let me turn it back over. I'm just going to fold it so it folds. There we go. Must be some glue come out somewhere because it just stuck to my... Okay, right, so on the other side I'm going to do my designer series paper. I'm going to have the green in the middle and then the spring yellow there. So and then you're going to see the white around the edge because it's a smaller arch, and it's purely for decorative. Oh no, that's a bit too high up. I hadn't pushed it all the way down, so that's why I was able to pull it up. That's better. There we go. And the same with the green. Now I'm lining it up with that one. There we go. Just get my bone folder again. That's better. Let's stand up a bit better now. Okay, so back to the decorating. So I've got my stool, and that's going to go on both of them. So dimensionals again. I think I might be going through a whole pack of dimensionals today. Oh, need my little arches. So they're going to go on the little arch. Let's pop the little arch on first. It's just I could have done it straight onto the vellum, but I just think it gives it a bit more, makes it pop a little bit. Okay, that's 1. And 2. Right, now I can put my stool on. Okay, there's a stool. Let's do the other stool. And there we go. So I'm going to pop that, my teapot next. Go there, and then my flowers will come out there. Okay, and then this bowl. No, that's not high enough. There we go. And then these flowers. Make sure I get them top. That's it. That's that. And then I just need to stamp my sentiment again with heartfelt sympathy. And hopefully it would bring a smile to someone's face in their darkest hours. There we go. So I have a spare arch and I have a spare stool, so I'll be making something with those a bit later on. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got, that's card 3. See, that one's been sitting down for longer, so that one still wants to pop up, but it will close down. And then that was card 1, and they were card 2. So I'd love to know which one you like best. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you'll join me next week, and I hope you have a lovely week. The sun is shining. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye.